Welcome back, bad boys. It's me, Queso, the illustrious Magnus of YouTube, back at it again with a brand new market watch. Now, what does that mean? Market watch is code for, you've seen this already before, not much changes because our secondary market is garbage. But we're just gonna spend 12 to 17 minutes of our time looking at all these cards and prices anyway, and maybe complaining about distribution. Sprinkle that in there a little bit. You know, the classics, the old 1-2 punch. You know, can't really neglect the classics. Now, I will say that VK has said in the server just today, either the wiki or the Reddit, can't be bothered right now. Sorry, you know what we're going through, and he did mention that instead of just straight up banning the sets from the past year because He-Who distribution, he would much rather try to get those sets to LGSs. Now, whether or not you believe that is a feasible task given our history here, I would very much like to be the optimist, but you know, the sentiment remains the same, that they would very much prefer, instead of rotations, to allow the past sets to get into a multitude of players' hands. Now, that is good news. Arguably, the best news we've received ever. And we've also received word that Ultima is legal. So, better start pre-ordering those deluxe editions if you want the best Pyrus Bakugan in the game. Now, let's focus back on the cards. Now that mini news... that new splooge is out there, and we're done talking about new stuff because I don't want to make a different video. We're going to talk about Market Watch. Ooh, what is it? We have a bunch of staples here that we're going to discuss. Without further ado, let's get it. Oh my god, what did I do? Magnus Dragonoid Ultra, as you see, there's currently none in stock, but that market price is ooey $30. As we described last time, the fact that it is more expensive than Mega Pega just makes me want to explode on various accounts. It's sad. Mega Pega never got her spot in the spotlight, so everyone thinks that she's garbage. It's just kind of this meme how we overhyped her, blah, but I'm not going to get into that now. Fire Launcher, ooh, $350, none in stock. You expect all these Armored Elite cards to be out of stock, but with a market price, or just not at all. I don't think I put any aside that do not have at least the market price, because I don't want to waste my time and I don't want to waste yours. So, Fire Launcher about $350, kind of modest, but you know, with the double coring mentality that we're kind of widespreading across the whole community here, turn 1 Fire Launcher from double coring on 2 minus gear costs is probably the most optimal strategy when it comes to double coring, so I'll give you guys that. Otherwise, it just doesn't exist. Pyrosana, $13 for some reason, just glorified Air Zero. Spirit Speed, $8. Ugh. For something that sees very minimal use, like just use Song of Fire. At that point, $3 for Twilight Axes, that's right at home. I agree with that. $2, but the one we have right now is $2.75, so take that as need be. Empower is not very good right now, or existent, I would say. $6, even in Armored Elite format, kind of the remnants of Age of Aurelus, and even just Bakugan that have higher B power than what Empower would allot, because keep in mind, Pyrus has fallen back a little bit. Nobilius is not as strong as the 1450 kind of standard that we've set going into Armored Elite format, so Pyrus is kind of fallen by the wayside unless you're implementing those might max strategies where damage wins is key. So Pyrus has just seen minimal play this format, so keep that in mind. $6 for Mecha Claws, that's about right for a BE and one of the better BEs, or I think it's an AR. Whatever it is, it's a high rarity and it's a decent card and has potential in Fury, but Fury itself is kind of hit the wayside right now, so that's kind of in a homeostasis, sort of speak. So $7 for Glimmering Glaive, it's $1 less than the pre-order prices were. The rocketed a sweet $8, which is ridiculous to me. and there's not a market price yet, so no one has caved into these $7 glimmering glaives. Hyper Pegatrix. We're going all the way back to Battle Brawlers now, since Armored Elite is kind of slim pickings. Now we're going over $2 Hyper Pegatrix. The reason I'm bringing up Ventus Pegatrix is, yes, it is still one of the better Ventus Bakugan to date. If you're not running the sync strategy, obviously go for Ventus Dragonoid Core. But if you are unable to get your hands on those Evos, I highly recommend Hyper Pegatrix, although the Bakugan may just be as hard to get as those Evos. Nevertheless, the price for this Evo is so good because it still hits 2250, which is very solid for 3 energy, and it has always been good ever since the beginning. And not to neglect the fact that a lot of people are kind of falling off the game right now, especially with the level of power creep that's going on. So if I could interest you into Battle Brawlers format, a video of mine that will be going up soon, and a video of Zeonic that is up right now explaining the different formats. I will include the link to that video in the description, but a lot of people are falling back to Battle Brawlers format because we have blind nostalgia even from just a year ago, back when Bakugan was good and we were ignorant to the bad business practices that were being implemented right in front of our faces. So Battle Brawlers is a format that I'm very interested in, especially since Fury is like tier 1 back then, because you would just do as much damage as possible early on. And remember, there were only those 3 cost flips and there were no rerolls. And I'll go over some of the other cards that are very good in Battle Brawler format in this special edition of Market Watch. So I will definitely throw up some flags when I'm going over those cards. You will not be remiss to when I am going over those cards. Now, this is something that is good in Battle Brawlers format, but it's good in every format, especially coming up in sync, and that's why you shouldn't be expected to see these prices go down. And unfortunately, it may be the sad case that Pact of Darkness may go up in price. If it's going to be that classic case of supply versus demand, right? Even the lightly plays are $23. That might even be a typo. I would imagine Kev is kind of selling out, and that's exactly a playset. So if usually people only have one playset unless your name is Toolbox, so he might be selling out. A lot of people are selling out, and that's something that's really sad to me. A lot of people are jumping ship, but I can't blame them. I can't. So you might going into Market Watch Forward, you might see a lot more product hitting TCG Player. So just keep an eye out for that, and maybe even some deals, because people just want these off their hands. And Pact of Darkness is no exception. If you are quitting the game, this is the card to get rid of. This is just that quick cash grab, a clean 20 bucks for little effort just to get it out of your home. So Pact of Darkness, keep an eye out for that for various reasons, because this card will always be good until the sun blows up in this game. Now, Dan Kuzo. Hero spam is for some reason having a huge resurgence, so a lot of people, especially in the Video Brawling League, are hyping this card up to Kingdom Come. It has always been a decent price, like a crazy price, like $20, $26, so there's no surprise here that it would be this much. However, $17, that's not bad if we're counting the $4.99 shipping. That might be the cause of a new shop coming into the market. Let's find out. Yes, Victors only. They have to have that $5 shipping price to where you know, that's implemented on new stores to test them out, so to speak. So what's that? $22. That's not bad at all for a Dan. Especially since you're 23 is the next one, and then more than that going forward. And then a Hex for about 26 as well. That's not too shabby either comparing to the 28. That's very good. Victors only is on a very good start with me. Tiger Reflex. Oh, this looks like the same thing. We might expect to see Victors only yet again. $9 plus 5, 14 bucks. Yep, no surprise there. As I said, you're going to be seeing a lot of new stores there. And the smart thing to do for these new stores that have to implement that $5 shipping is to lowball the prices so that the shipping kind of accommodates for that base market price. And that's exactly what Victors Only is doing, and especially for those new shops on TCG Player that are just selling out their collections. So keep in, like, especially with these news that's coming out, like the worse news there is, the more likely you're going to see some sales on TCG Player. And we have not gotten some good news except for the anti-rotation thing that VK said today. $6, $7 for Winton. Yeah, okay. That's about right. No one's really playing ramp, which stinks, but you know, what can you do? HTN is another one of those cards that has stood the test of time when it comes to viability. HTN has always been good, especially with Haos's techniques of core stealing. So Nilius is just one of those guys that says, hey, you know what? That magic shield, that Helix over there, I'll take that and I'll put it on my side of the field for the rest of the game, similar to what MegaPega should have been able to do, but thanks to Video Brawling League and Untap, making it so if you control your opponent's cores, that's really neither here nor there, because Video Brawling League allows you to roll uncontested and you can just, you know, pace out the cores and get your core right back without anyone rolling at you the same way. And Untap is just, you know, what can you do? Like, my cores are mine and your cores are yours, so it kind of defeats the whole purpose of Haos. Haos receives a powerful nerf in both online aspects of the game, and thus HTN and MegaPega have suffered during this pandemic. But HTN is top tier in Battle Brawlers. HTN is top tier in GOAT format. HTN is tier 1 in BR format, AA format, and Armored Elite format. Oh, the only thing questionable is, will it continue to be top tier in Fusion Force, or will the Sync Mirror playstyle completely cast it to the sidelines? Who knows? I think HTN will still be good because they have access to pretty much the same thing Sync is allotted, except Sync itself, which that is the main thing that's dividing it among fans. So definitely, for if you want to do Battle Brawlers format, HTN is so good. And speaking of so good, Mac, $13. Ugh. It's, you know, what can you do? Hero players are also marking this up to oblivion, even though, you know, Damage Wins isn't really being seen right now, and the few people that are trying to champion it, as of myself, are getting creamed. So I don't think Mac is worth the $13 that they're trying to spike it up to right now. Then $6, $11 say to Stand-Togethers, Yu-Gi-Oh! Rogue, okay, a new shop as well. See, I'm telling you, you're gonna be able to tell these new shops by the $5 shippings. There are a lot of people wanting to sell out, especially with the 8 sales and 0%. They're not remembering to ask for surveys. Ask for surveys, guys. Magnus, another victim of hero spam, because he's not being reprinted in the Darkus faction box. People are going to spike him up, literally, because every other hero is being spiked up, or is being reprinted, except Magnus and Mac. The 2 win conditions, arguably the 2 things that make hero spam decent. So thus Magnus is going to be ridiculous amounts of money. $16 for a hex approximately, and then $11 for just a regular. He's a BE, and arguably one of the better ones now too. Nature's Power, about $8. Okay, dang, that went up. I remember that used to be $5. Crazy. Midas Indius, about $5. Boom, 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 boom. All right, $9 for a hex. That's not bad. Oh, that's $10. Ah, oof. You know, and it goes up from there. So I mean, yeah. I mean, arguably a better card than Mac, because it's cheaper. But obviously Mac is you can't respond to Mac, so there's that benefit there. Wave Slash, I just want to call attention to it because it is one of those cards that is, you know, one of those staples that just keeps running out for some reason. It's fairly cheap, but you keep your eye on it because its stock always runs out. Also very good in BB format. Song of Fire, another card that is very, very, very good in BB format, $350. And also it is a card that you want to get your hands on if you were deciding to run the Pyrus version of Sync, because it allows you to go into your Dark Rage, your main Sync enabler for Darkus Pyrus, and it allows you to play Darkest Shadow maybe a little bit earlier, turn 1 if need be, with a Super Fuel Song of Fire. So it is a very good card, even going into Fusion Force format. Now Hot Potato, very, very, very good in Battle Brawlers format, because guess what? No rerolls. So if you remove an enemy Bakugan's core, they're done. They're done for that turn. There's no getting it back unless they're playing Haos. But even then, you just have Consort So not much can be done in that regard, okay? And it's cheap, 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 cheap. $2 for a hex. Oh my god. Bling it out, baby. What's stopping you? BB format time. Oh yeah, oh yeah. BB format time again. Hyper Garganoid Ultra. Aurelus Garganoid Ultra is the Hydronoid of this format. It is 1350 base. Nothing can beat it. And even with its Evo with 250 plus 3, it is an amazing 1850, which is hardly ever going to get beat unless your opponent's HTN strategies get up there, which is going to be possible because HTN is tier 1 and you're going to be seeing a lot of them if you decide to delve into this format. So for early game, which is what Fury wants to do, Hyper Garganoid is strong as hell. Hyper Serpentease Ultra, again, for that Fury strategy, you don't have Vice Rocks in BB format. This is your Fury this is your Fury payoff. With 1750 on a plus 250 plus 3 and 12 damage, like, or 15 damage, I think, yeah? Yeah, 15 damage, that's crazy. And turn 2, no less. And you're going to be in Fury turn 2 or turn 3 with the Fury strategies. So, very, very, very good in BB format. Hyper Mantinoid Ultra, it is base 1050, which is strong as hell in BB format, and then this evolution, it's kind of optimal if you want to run it because 1050 is very strong by itself, but this hits with a magic shield 1450, which is immaculate for 2. Same thing you'd get with Serpentease almost, but you know, Serpentease has that extra thing where you have to be in Fury in order for it to be the best Bakugan it could possibly be. But you are already running 2 other Evos in the HTN build already with this, because you're going to be running this, and then Hyper Pegatrix, and then also HTN itself. So that is optional, but I wanted to call attention to it, that Hyper Mantinoid Ultra Aquos, or at least Aquos Mantinoid Ultra, is very good in Battle Brawler format. Now, we're in Resurgence. Oh my god, this video's forever. Super Fuel, $69. Never buy this card ever. Thanks to Noka. I think they literally fell asleep in their shop and have never adjusted it since. Get with the times. I'm tired of seeing that for $69. No one buy it, please. $15 for the one Llusion that's up right now. Honestly, yeah, that's about right. It's an SR and one of the better ones at that. And if you're playing Aquos, you're more than likely playing this. There's a little room to debate on that. Blinding Ink, $5. Holy cow, there's 10 of them from Yu-Gi openings for $5 for 10 cents. So $5.10. There's 8 of them. So if you need some blinding inks, you're good to go, pal. And then I wanted to call attention to Pyrus Hyper Serpentease, also going into Fusion Force, thanks to Baku Treasure, thanks for Aquatomic Payload. Combo decks such as Hyper Serpentease and Aurelus Trox are going to be really, really, really good, especially with Pyrus Storm coming in Shields of Destroya. Aurelus Trox got a huge boost in consistency from that, so expect to see combo decks playing alongside the big boys of Sync in the near future. Strata, $3 for 19 of them. I don't know how Yu-Gi openings got so many of them, but if you are in need of these more immediately and you don't want to buy 3 Haos faction bundles for some reason, you're still going to need your Leas, so that's just, you know, ridiculous in of itself. So it's funny to me that Strata is so cheap. Air Zero, you know, for some reason, if you want to play this in Maximus, be my guest. $5, pretty across the board. $5.10. We've seen that before. Hollow Hex is, yeah, about 12 bucks, $14, something like that, you know. Quickfire, $3.75. All right. About $5. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, okay, pretty much more of the same. Now I want to call attention to this is because Aurelus Titan Crocelius Ultra does not have a market price at all, which means no one has bought this card ever. No one has bought this Evo ever. I've never seen this Bakugan except once before. So I just wanted to point that out because that's hilarious to me. Leah, currently out of stock, but market price at $18.75. Definitely way down from when it first came out. You guys remember those grim times. $11 for Clone Army. Yeah, okay. Tuskguard, currently out of stock, 607, about right for what that card is. Darkus Hyper Cubbo, 408, going up in price even though there hasn't been a listing in a long time. 375 is Fire Wing Blast, yep, because this is a very popular card in VBL too, mainly to combat those Might Mac damage win strategies from what I've seen. So that could be the reason, but 375 is very humble for what that is. Hyper Lupithion Ultra, if you want to play worse Ventus Sync, 383 is the market price, but for some reason it is $16 for a moderately played Hollow Hex. That explains it. It's a Hollow Hex. Sinkhole, 375, 475 after shipping. So yeah, it's sad to see that giant going. Like, usually you would not see this last on TCG Player for more than 24 hours because someone would always be fast to scoop it up because this was a very envious card. But, you know, no. $5 for Ninja Gear. As I said, combo decks are coming up sooner. They're like, this is going to be a must-have at least at 2 for your Aurelus Trox and Pyrus Serpentees strategies. Liquid Arts I also wanted to bring up because he who Aurelus Trox, 325 after shipping. Bloody, 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 blah. That looks like the pretty much the status quo on that. Sorry for the kind of longer market watch. I had no idea that it was going to take that long, but thank you for sticking with me to the end. The code word is Gingong Banana. If you have made it this far, be sure to type that in the comments so I know who has made it this far and who decided to watch me ramble for this long. With that being said, be good, make good choices, bad boys, drum up, all that. Church of Fury, bless up. You know, I'll see you later. I'll see you in the next video, alright?